That's where we get most of engagement. So feel free to put your questions in there and I'll try to address as many as I can in the time that I have. We are also live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and the same applies to you guys over there. And put your questions in and I'll address. Okay. In the meantime, there was something interesting. We did a live last week. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. And we had a gentleman who wanted to meet with us and go over his case. And we did. He booked a consultation with us. Yes, our consultations are not free. He booked a consultation and then he was gracious and sent us a full history, all the documents that he had on his prior cases. And he was already like past appeal times. So he filed appeals. And this is what happens when you hire an attorney. This is what happens when you book, or it should happen when you book a time with an attorney. Not only are they going to go over your situation and questions, but if they cannot help you, or there is nothing they can do, or the chances are so slim that it's not worth you paying the attorney should be able to tell you so. Okay. And this is exactly what we did for this particular person. Even though they did pay for the consultation, we reviewed the documents that they sent to us ahead of time. And we were able to determine that we cannot help him or give him the result that he wanted, and refunded the consultation fee. So if you find that you are meeting with an attorney and they are not giving you the advice that you're necessarily looking for, maybe you should listen to that attorney, because not every attorney out there is going to tell you, yes, I can help you. And they will be honest. And getting an answer in which the attorney tells you, I cannot help you, that means the attorney already reviewed your information. They asked a bunch of questions from you. They reviewed the documents that you have sent ahead of time. And they determined either they cannot help you, you have no options, or they are not the right attorney for you. That in itself, it's legal advice. That in itself is legal advice. Every once in a while, we have people who call our firm and they say, well, why should I pay for your time just so you can tell me you can't help me? For me to tell you that I cannot help you, or for any attorney, it doesn't have to be immigration, any lawyer whatsoever in any area of practice, for them to be able to tell you that they cannot help you, that means they already employed in their head all the education that they have, the experience that they had, and they determined, okay, that they cannot help you, or that you have no option. It's like when you go to a doctor and you are in pain, right? Very similar to going to see a lawyer, right? You go there, you are in pain, you have a problem, you want that problem solved, right? Well, you go to the doctor, it doesn't mean that when the doctor tells you, well, I am so happy to tell you that you have a pimple, you don't have cancer. You're not paying for the pimple, you're not paying for the cancer, you are paying for the doctor being able to tell you what you have or what you don't have. So it's very similar when you see a lawyer, okay? It's particularly immigration lawyers, because that's what I do, that's what I can speak of, right? For you need to be able to understand that once you see the attorney can tell you you may have no options. The attorney should be able to honestly tell you that. Every once in a while, we have people who say, well, I didn't pay for your time, so you can tell me you have no options. Well, I didn't put you in the situation that are in. I am trying to solve the situation that you have. And if that doesn't work, it doesn't work. You should appreciate the fact that we are telling you the truth, and we are not just saying, hey, give me thousands of dollars. Let me try to do something for you. And at some point in the future, maybe you get approved, right? Who wants that? So yeah, sometimes that's the only thing you can do. You can try. All right. Now, let's talk about family questions, okay? Frequently asked questions, overview of family-based petitions. We are going to talk about family-based petitions today. And any questions that you guys have, just put them there. I saw so far one popped up. How long after you submit your I-130 application by mail, how long before you get a response? Mr. Barnett, if you were to tell me, please, who submitted the I-130, a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident? Where did you submit it? Basically, which service center? Okay, was it Texas? Was it California? Where did you send it? And then tell me for which family member did you submit, and then I'll be able to help you and address that for you. Give me a little bit more information, okay? And I'll look it up and tell you. But you know that information is readily available online. You can get that, okay, by going to USCIS case status, putting the receipt number in, and it will actually tell you how long it's going to take and what's the earliest date that you can file an inquiry for that particular case type, okay, for your particular case. Carlos, I have a 245I, April 6, 2001. When start paperwork from Mexico, my brother petition. I do not understand your question. If you already have 245I, did you already file your I-485? Okay, so I don't understand your question. When can you start paperwork for your brother who's in Mexico, I assume? If you already have 245I, that means you are a permanent resident, okay? For you to petition for a brother or a sister or any sibling, you have to be a US citizen first. So you have to be a resident for at least 4 years and 9 months before you apply for citizenship. After you get your citizenship, then you can apply for your brother. With Mexico, and pretty much everybody in the brother-sister category, it's going to take forever and ever and ever, sadly. You might want to have your brother look into other options of coming to the United States or remaining in the United States. Perhaps you have a business that you can sponsor him through the business. Perhaps he has a certain degree that is very useful in the United States, and he can get a green card that way. Because going the brother-sister way, it's the longest way, okay? Especially Mexico, Philippines, India, and China. Very, very long time. Okay, so Mr. Burnett, you're a green card holder, you filed for your wife, and you applied in Chicago. There is no service area in Chicago. That's where your local office is. Where was it? Tell me where. Oh, so you live in Chicago. Let's try that, okay? I'll tell you in a second. Yeah, when I'm online, it's a little bit slow, so I can do about that. Let's see. And Jody, I'll get to your question in a minute. Let me just get to Mr. Barnett first, okay? So he is a permanent resident. He filed for his wife. Permanent resident. So let's assume you filed at Texas, because there are 3 service centers you can apply. It takes 20 months, so a little bit less than 2 years. When the government says that it takes 20 months, okay, what you guys need to remember is 80% of the cases are completed in 20 months. So basically, what does that mean? It means yours could take significantly less, or it could take significantly longer, but they estimate about 20 months on average, okay? So that is from the date of your receipt. If you look at the receipt that you got for the I-130, you would see there listed priority date, or you would see receipt date, and you calculate from there. You can actually, on this page where you do USCIS processing time, it's asking for the receipt date, and if you put your receipt date in there, it actually tells you when you can file an inquiry. You can't even ask them about the status on the case before then. All right, Jody, do you still have to go to a marriage-based green card interview? It really depends. Okay. The way that works is this: they are going to waive the green card interview if your application is fully complete, there are no errors and mistakes, and on its face, it's approvable. So, what does that mean? It means it didn't have a rejection, it has absolutely everything in it, all the documents that are required. Um, a document, a proper package for a green card for a green card, just about this big. Okay. Yeah, can you get them approved with this? Sure. You can get denied with this much too. So, but what does it mean to be fully complete for a family-based petition? It means have all the questions on all the forms properly answered, have the proper fee, have all the right documents properly translated and the translation certified, have all the prior divorces, all the certificates for the children, have absolutely everything that you need there. And then you need to prove the marriage. The more documents you have to prove that you entered into this marriage in good faith, the easier it's going to be for them to waive the interview. So here is a caveat to that. Here is a red flag, and this is where most people need to be careful, is they might waive this interview, this one. So that means, yeah, you'll get a work permit, you'll get your social, you'll get the green card, but then you haven't been married for longer than 2 years. So when they're going to approve it, it's a 2-year green card. Then you have to apply for the removal of conditions. Okay. And that's the second time they are going to look at your application and make sure that they didn't make a mistake in granting you the green card the first time. So they are going to approve or deny that again, with or without interview. And then the last time they're going to look at this is when you are applying for naturalization. So it's critical. It's critical that you do it right, and you do it right the first time. Obviously, everybody wants to avoid that interview. It's nerve-wracking. And I've been there, done that. I get it. All right, let's see. Oh, Carlos, you live in Mexico. You have to 45I. Your brother petitioned for you. Okay. Carlos, tell me, when did he petition for you? Okay. And what is the priority date on your petition? Okay. Let me know. And if you have to 45I, why are you in Mexico? Why are you not here? And second, if you have to 45I, when the brother petitioned for you, it was before 2001, okay? Theoretically, you can start applying for that as soon as the category is current. So do you have those? You might want to book a consultation so we can look at that, okay? Nathan, visa U. What about U visa? For U visa to qualify, you need to be the victim of violent crime. Okay, so that could be robbery, it could be assault. There are many other categories of crimes. Can an Afghan asylum 22 can bring parents to the U.S. Once you are a U.S. citizen, only after you become a U.S. citizen, you can petition for your parents. If you're asking, can they come here to visit? It really depends. If you apply for asylum, or there are people who come here on tourist visa and they stay, even though they eventually do get their papers, your parents' visas could be denied. Now, if once you are a citizen and you petition for them to come here and petition them for residency, then they're not going to look at that, okay? We did visa by U biometrics almost 5 years ago and no news so far. That's normal. Yes, sadly it is. U visas right now take about 8 years. But you can check the status of your U visa. Like I was telling the other gentleman, you can go USCIS processing time, put your receipt number in there. They're going to tell you what application they are working on. So it's very readily available. How long does it take for I-130 case? Requested by my husband. I have arrived here with a tourist visa. Okay, Ms. Pineda, please, the I-130 case, okay, if you are already in the United States, even if your tourist visa expired, I-130 case is only a little portion of the application. That is not what you need to file. That is the wrong application. You need to file a few more, okay? Yeah, if you're already here on a tourist visa and he filed I-130, you might want to see an immigration lawyer as soon as possible, especially if your status did not expire, okay? So give us a call, okay? 954-466-0070. Our information is in the bio. You'll find it there. I was applied my U visa December 2016, still not get it. Yeah, Mr. Singh, you still have to wait a little bit. Right now, the way it looks like online, I just checked for another client. It's about 8 years, okay? And that's only for the first portion. And then after that, you apply for the green card, okay? I filed for my wife in Florida. How long does it take? What did you file for her? What forms did you file? It really depends where in Florida. Okay, for example, Oakland Park is one of the fastest in the country right now. You could theoretically have a green card interview in less than 9 months. Is that normal? Right now it is, but that doesn't mean it's going to be like that for a long period of time. When you say Florida, you could be in Jacksonville or Pensacola. Processing times there are totally different than where I am. So, Courtney, do me a favor and let's look at that, okay? Give us a call, okay? Let's see if we can help with that. Or give me more information and I'll try to look it up for you. Let me know also location. Okay, Junior, they issued my son an A number and still denied his case. A number doesn't mean anything. A number just means that's your file number with them. Means absolutely nothing. And still denied his case. What should I do? I don't know. I don't know the type of case that you filed. I don't know at what stage did they deny the case. Did they deny the I-130? Did they deny the visa after that? Did they deny it at the consulate? What happened? So if you petitioned for your son, for example, and let's say your son is 10 years old and you're in the United States and he is still back, let's say for argument's sake in Haiti, okay? And you haven't seen your son in those many years. The government wants you to prove that you have had a relationship with your son, that you paid child support with your son, that your name is listed on your son's birth certificate, that the registration of his birth was done soon after the birth and not 5 years later. So there is a lot going on, and that's when the lawyer comes in, okay? You may have to start from scratch and file for your son, or you may still have options to file an appeal if this denial happened less than 30 days ago, okay? If not, you might want to get started. What you also want to consider is that after a certain age, children do age out. If you don't start now, your child might age out and then you may not be able to do anything for him. Also, are you a US citizen or are you a permanent resident? That also makes a big difference. Listen, when it comes to kids, aren't they the most important thing in your life? You have to realize, if this is important and I really want my child here and I want to be able to give him all the options in the world and give him all the opportunities, then you need to work on this. And if time is critical for you, then you need to hire a lawyer and make sure it gets done right and gets done right the first time. Well, you already have a denial. Now the standard of proof is even higher. So give us a call. Let's see how we can help you with that. Okay. Shaquille, I'm in the EU. If I come to America, can I get the green card there? It depends. What is your education? What is your experience? Okay, what's your education? What's your experience? How would you be coming to the United States? Are you coming to the United States being sponsored by a family member through investment of serious amounts of money and creating jobs for US workers? Or are you coming because you found already an employer who is going to petition and sponsor you? Okay, so there are other options. If you look at my other TikToks, you will see that there are quite a few that discuss options on how to come to the United States. Glam, can you answer my question? I didn't see your question. Can you post it again? You're in Mauritania. I want to apply for asylum. If you are inside the United States, you can apply for asylum. If you are outside the United States, you have to apply for refugee status. Candy, if USCIS is asking for evidence and medical, if medical is not ready, is it okay to write them a letter? Absolutely not. USCIS, when they are sending you a request for evidence, they are giving you one opportunity to submit all the documents, all of them at once. Okay? There is no reason your medical shouldn't be ready. None. All it does is make sure you're vaccinated against COVID, you have proof of your vaccinations, and you don't have a transmittable disease. That doesn't take longer than a week. You go have the medical, a week later you get the results. So I would need to know more about why is the medical not ready. Not only that, when you got the request for evidence, they gave you 87 days to respond. There is no way a medical takes longer than that. Okay? So something else is going on, and I understand you don't want to disclose your personal information here. That's fine. Talk to your lawyer, okay? If you don't have a lawyer, we can try to help you out. Give us a call. But do not write the letter. It will not do anything. They will consider the letter as a response to your request for evidence, and anything that's not included there, it's not included. You didn't comply, and why would you want to do that? I'd like to know if I can still file the I-129F for my fiancé. Can he also apply for the DS-160? No, they go in order, okay? Thanks for putting your question because I didn't see it the first time, okay? You have to fill out the I-129F first, and only after that, your fiancé is able to fill out the DS-160. NVC needs to actually create a case based on the approval of the I-129F in order to move on to the next step. If I want to apply for my sister with her kids, what kind of form? I'm USA citizen. The form number is I-130. Okay, that's it. You might want to look to see if there are other options available for your sister and or her kids, because that's going to take a long time. Okay, let's see what it takes right now for brother and sister, because it's not the first question we got. So let's see. So as of March, I see April is not posted yet. Assuming your sister is not from China, India, Mexico, or the Philippines, they are processing applications filed in 2007. That is 16 years wait time. And on top of that, then you have 2 years or 2.5 years of processing time minimum. So we're looking at 20 years, okay? You might want to find other options for your sister. Contact an immigration attorney, have a consultation, maybe her education, experience, something else. Maybe there are other options available for her, okay? Can I choose not to update my case after naturalization because I am already documentarily qualified? If you updated your situation, okay, here is the thing. You are naturalized. You are not documentarily qualified. Your relative is documentarily qualified. If them being documentarily qualified is based on you being a permanent resident, okay, you have to be very careful. If you naturalized, they might not have, they may already, their case could close because sometimes naturalization actually cuts the relationship that it's necessary for them to actually come to the United States. Whether you say it or you don't say it, it doesn't matter. They're going to go to the consulate and the consular officer will know what your current immigration status is at that time. Now, why would you choose not to update? Is that because you probably realize that you shouldn't have because it terminates the relationship? You have to look into that, okay? Why would you choose not to update? That raises flags, Candy. All right, we responded to that. I'm a graduate student from Nepal. How do I apply for a green card? Dinesh, you're a graduate student. Let's find out when your F1 and all the other OPTs, CPTs, and everything else end, okay? And to apply for a green card, either find a family member willing to petition for you and sponsor you, or find an employer. There are no other options. On the other hand, it takes forever, and you might want to get started on that now and not wait until your process is over, until your time on the visa is over. Candy, I addressed your question. Okay. All right. I'm divorced with my green card. Will I still have to provide all that documentation when you go to naturalization? Yes, you would. Okay. Depending on when exactly did you get divorced. You got your green card and then you got divorced, or you got your green card, then you did the removal of conditions and then you got divorced. Did you get divorced while your 751 removal of conditions was pending? Did you file for naturalization already and now you got divorced? It really depends on timing, okay? But yes, if you obtained your green card through marriage, most likely, unless it's been like, say, over 5 years, 6 years, 7 years since you already had your green card, then you don't have to. But it really depends, and it's really case by case. How long is the process for 601A waiver? Oh my goodness, Ian. So we just had a conference with other immigration attorneys. We have not seen a 601A waiver approval in over 4 years. And that conference had about 500 lawyers there. Okay, forever, over 3 to 4 years. Okay. Do you know why SSA is unable to check my status from USCIS? Yes, it's either too soon after the approval, you have to give them 6 to 8 weeks, or the name, exactly the way you are applying for SSA, does not match exactly your green card. It could be a misspelling. It could be that it's missing a middle name. Could be that first name, last name, or middle name, last name are reversed. They might just not be able to, okay? How long does it take the process of parole in place? Those are usually processed pretty fast. If it's been more than a few months, you might be able to file an inquiry or contact your congressperson. Credeți că pentru România se vor scoate curând vizele de turist? Nu cred deloc. Ok? Până nu văd că se întâmplă, nu cred. Deci, you should apply for a tourist visa if you don't have one. The question was, do I think that the tourist visa requirement will be eliminated for Romania, presumably by adding Romania to the visa waiver program and registering through ESTA. I don't believe that's going to happen anytime soon. Let's hope so. All right. If I visit my home country after citizenship based on asylum, do I have problems? Well, it depends. Did you get your citizenship through asylum, or did you apply for asylum and then you got citizenship through, residency and then citizenship through other methods? Okay, so it really depends. Then here's the thing. If they give you naturalization, you become a naturalized US citizen, they have 5 years to take it back. Okay. Does the government necessarily bother with that much? Not that I have seen. Is that a guarantee? No. We advise our clients not to travel to their home country if they had an asylum pending or filed based on that country until at least 5 years after the time they became a US citizen. Now, every situation is different and people don't listen most of the time, but that is our advice. Rudy, undocumented qualified, waiting on interview, but became a citizen. But I want to stay in an F2 category. You cannot stay in an F2 category, okay? F2 category is for spouses of permanent residents, okay? Or children of permanent residents. You are no longer, your family is no longer a permanent resident. So now you have to see in which category did they move, okay? Or did they totally fall off the visa bulletin, okay? Ace Heating, denied adjustment of status due to false claim for citizenship. Oh boy, still here and not in removal. False claim of citizenship, that's not going to happen. There is no, here is the thing, depends on where did you claim to be a citizen and how did that happen, okay? For example, okay, where we are in Florida, some children, when they go to high school, between their junior, senior year and their senior year, they have people who come to school and they're asking them to register to vote. And kids sign a paper, they don't know any better, and there is a list at the end of the day, and these people go and register these people as US citizens registering to vote. There is an argument to be made there that perhaps if that is what happened to you, okay, then you didn't know, you didn't do it, and then there are ways around it. Now, if you claim to be a citizen when you applied for your mortgage, so you can get a mortgage, or you claim to be a citizen when you enter the United States, so instead of coming with somebody else's passport from another country, you use a US passport or claim to be a citizen, or you applied for some other benefit, okay? Yeah, they are not going to give you a green card, most likely ever. There are very limited circumstances under which you can ask for a waiver, or you can ask, you probably may have to be actually in removal proceedings to claim certain types of benefits, okay, including a green card. USCIS might not be able to do it. All right, I addressed those questions. A lot of people say I can go out with a combo card and coming into the USA without problems. Well, you listen to a lot of people or you listen to your immigration lawyer, okay? If you have a combo card, okay, we tell all of our clients, do not travel outside the United States. Just don't, okay? Here's what happens, and I say this every single time I do a live. Every single time I do a live, inevitably, there is one person who's asking this, so don't feel alone. Everybody has this question, okay? So here is the thing. When you have a combo card, USCIS pretty much says, if you are leaving the United States and come back, we are going to consider your pending application and your pending status the same as before when you came. And we are going to proceed as if you never left. Leaving on advance parole, it's not considered a departure from the United States. Here's where the problem comes in. You come with a document that is issued by Homeland Security, and you come through the border, okay? And it's a different government agency, and they don't have to honor that paper. They don't have to honor the combo card. They don't have to honor the advance parole. They don't have to honor any of that. And that's where the problem comes in. Do you want to try your luck? Go ahead and try your luck. I would tell absolutely each single one of my clients not to. Okay? I've seen enough of problems on that. How long can one actually delay a removal case? Well, now you have a combo card, and now you're saying you also have, hold on. Oh no, that was somebody else. Ignore me. Okay. If you have a combo card, okay, how long can you delay a removal case? It really depends. Okay. It depends on where in the country you are. It depends on which judge you have and what type of case you have. We have a couple of removal cases that have been pending for, I think, 11 years. And we also have others that the judge wouldn't budge, and within 6 months we had a hearing. So it really depends. Okay, if your case is taking that long, and there are other ways of perhaps ending your removal case if it's in your best interest, because sometimes that is not. Sometimes that's the only way to get a work permit. Okay. If you have other options, maybe you are eligible for prosecutorial discretion, maybe they can terminate it. I mean, there are other ways. Okay. My daughter's in Ethiopia. NVC says they'll tell you when the interview day, but still nothing. You may be waiting for a long time. So NVC says they'll tell you. Does that mean you're documentary qualified? And if you're documentarily qualified, you just have to wait until the consulate tells NVC, please book the next batch of people, and until it's your daughter's turn. Nothing you can do about that, really. I-130 for my husband who's overseas. I applied last April at Nebraska Service Center, 10.5 months. Yeah, it takes a long time. It takes at least 20 to 25 months right now from what I have seen for almost all I-130s. Is it safe to travel with VAWA advanced parole? Even with a clean record, okay, I would still tell you not to travel on advanced parole. That being said, I want to know how you entered the United States. Okay. You obviously have filed for a VAWA and you got advanced parole. I'm 100% sure you got a lawyer already. You should ask your lawyer this, okay? If not, give us a call and we can try to take over the case. Joe, how many photos are good to support a marriage-based green card? Oh boy. So, photos. If you don't have joint financials, if you don't have joint financial responsibilities, photos will not count for much. Photos and letters from other parties altogether, maybe 5 to 10% of the evidence that you should be submitting. Asylum case results pending 5 months. They can take their time. They don't have a deadline. You might want to check your status online, and based on your alien number, you might want to also check processing times. I'm sorry, you might also want to check EOIR and see if they placed you in removal. Maybe they sent you a notice and you didn't go pick up your asylum results, and maybe you already missed a hearing, and that would be problematic. Okay. Talk to your lawyer who helped you file the asylum. What next? On my VAWA was approved, but on the application, it was only clicked that I have child with no name. Okay, so what's the question? How long is the process 601A waiver? About 4.5 years if you're lucky. Do I have to renew my work permit if my asylum was approved and my green card is pending? Well, do you want to work? Then yes. All right, so I'm going to answer a couple more questions and then we're going to be done because I've been talking for a while and time for me to move on. All right, let's see. How long is green card replacement taking? If you file your application online, they're actually not taking that very long right now, okay? We have had a couple that were approved in like a few weeks. I also have a couple that are still pending, all right? Most of them are in a couple of months. All right. All right, I already addressed that question. Candy, I already addressed your question. Same thing to Tena. On the J1 visa, you have to talk to your employer. It really depends on their contract. What happens if I forgot to add recent address in my N400? Yeah. When you go to the interview, tell the officer before the interview starts, tell them what you need to change on the application. Can you go outside of the US and come back on a 10-year green card if you had a DUI, which became a refusal? I don't know what a refusal means. I don't know where you are outside which state you are in. It really depends. If you are not a US citizen, I don't care what is on your record, do not travel outside the United States if there is anything but a traffic ticket. Okay, a DUI, it's a criminal matter. Do not travel outside the United States. All right. Okay, Glam. No, our consultations are not free. This is the only free time I give. Do I need to renew my work permit if my asylum is approved, green card is pending? Yes, I already addressed that. I think I went over all the questions. Some of them are repeating because, people. And that's pretty much it. I think I addressed all of them. If I missed, okay, let's see, Dinesh. Okay. How much money do I need to make a year to get my spouse here? It depends on the poverty guidelines. Okay, assuming you don't live in Alaska and Hawaii, the poverty guidelines times 125%. So basically, if it's just you and your wife, and neither one of you has children, and you don't have any dependents whatsoever on your taxes, and you don't have children for which you pay child support, then I think the number is $26,000 this year. Okay. How long is the process for I-130 from US citizen to wife who entered the US with a visa? If she's already here, Melvin, I-130 is not the right process. You guys are screwing her up. Please don't, okay? Talk to a lawyer, get it done. As undocumented immigrants, what do I need to file when I get married to a US citizen? The documentation is readily available. The list is already available online. When you get married to a US citizen, since you are undocumented, it depends on how you enter the country. Did you enter the United States legally on a visa and overstayed? Have you ever been placed in removal proceedings? Have you had other applications pending? Did you enter the country crossing the border and were you apprehended by ICE? Did you enter the country and you had no interaction at all with ICE? All of these things make a difference in how you should file and what forms you need to fill out, okay? Immigration is not about forms, guys. Immigration is not about forms at all, okay? How long does it take to process a VAWA work permit? Almost a year. All right. In regular processing, how soon can you get H-1 transfer to a new company? Why would you not pay for premium processing for an H-1B transfer? Don't you want to work for the new employer? Presumably, you're leaving employer number one to go to employer number two so you can make more money. You wouldn't pay premium processing so you can make more money sooner. Just doesn't make sense. All right, I addressed most of the questions. The rest of the questions I'll address Wednesday. I think it's Wednesdays next time that I'm coming back online. So I'll see you guys then.